Hey, Drew Breezy here. What can a young paper boy from Western New York and a German Shepherd teach you about racism? Stick around, the story's not going to tell itself. This is Sunday School. So when I was growing up in the snows of Niagara Falls, New York, as a kid, I used to deliver newspapers. My father worked at a newspaper and I used to deliver the same paper. And on the paper route, you actually had to throw the paper in between the storm door and the house door. I would always hit this one house the same way every time. I'd open the door, give it a second, throw the paper in and quickly shut it. And this German Shepherd would come flying from the landing past the window and scare me every single time. Everybody in that neighborhood loved that dog. They loved that German Shepherd. They said it was the most friendly dog in the world. I beg to differ, but I'm just me. One day as a young kid, I was delivering the afternoon paper and the dog was out. No leash, no nothing, just me and the dog. And a guy across the street who was washing his sidewalk. He watered their sidewalk there. I don't know, maybe it's an Italian thing. I tried to get the old man's attention and tell him, hey, the dog's out, the dog's out, the dog's gonna get me. And I had my paper bag on with all the newspapers in it. And he was like, that dog is harmless, it's not gonna do anything to you. It's fine, just go about your business, ignore it. So sure enough, I started walking towards the house to deliver the newspaper to that house. And that dog got me. He grabbed a hold of my newspaper bag and started struggling with it. The old man dropped his hose and came running over and he helped me get my bag off from over my shoulder. And I was able to flee to safety behind the hose of the old man who was watering his sidewalk. That old guy kind of looked at me and said, you know, I've never seen that dog act that way before. And I was validated. I was just trying to tell him, the dog doesn't like me for whatever reason. What it boils down to is this. The dog probably smelled newsprint. So when the dog was growing up, it was probably beat. Every time I went to the bathroom, whatever happened, it was probably beat with the newspaper. So I represented the newspaper. So you're probably asking, what's the German Shepherd, a young paper boy, have to do with implicit bias or racism? Well, it's simple. That dog had a preconceived notion about me. That dog had a bias against Paperboys. He hated the newsprint, he hated the smell of the newsprint, and he assumed that I was there to attack him. On the other side of the coin, I have an irrational fear of German Shepherds. Now, I get over that. Anytime I see a German Shepherd, they seem playful, but I am cautiously optimistic as I approach them, and I let them smell my hand, particularly to let them know that I haven't been a paper boy in 45 years. Are my biases and fears against German Shepherds just a crazy notion? Is the German Shepherd's fear or bias against me just a crazy notion? No, neither of them are crazy notions. They exist, but the point is, I acknowledge it. I understand it. My implicit biases are formed from my experiences. It doesn't mean that I think that they're rational. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna react any differently towards German Shepherds or big dogs. It just means that they exist and I acknowledge that they exist, and that's how I overcome it. You have biases and they live within you, and if you don't confront them, they're gonna come out at the most inappropriate time. And that's where the racism exists in America. It's subtle. So if you don't confront it, you're gonna live with it. And unfortunately, maybe your subconscious is gonna allow you to act on it. So what's the lesson to be learned in all this? Well, you have biases. Don't let them control you. Don't try to suppress them. Bring them out, deal with them, and move on. Don't let them guide you. 1. And 2, love everybody. It doesn't cost a thing. And here's the main thing I want you to think about. Quit letting the media beat us over the head with these newspapers. I'm Drew Breezy, I'm entitled to my opinion, and this was Sunday School. And don't pee on your own carpet.